Hello, thank you for tuning into this section of reads. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. This section of reads should be on the YouTube channel James 13 Wicca. I'll put the stuff like the decks and the dice below that information. Besides that, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching. Let's go ahead and get into your selection. Hello, Gemini. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Gemini? Ooh, yo, somebody likes you a lot. Ooh, spicy. Spicy. Let's move this over here. How much farther? One more? Okay. Spicy. They're gonna tell you at some point too. Is timing working to your benefit though? Questions. Only 50 million of them. That's all. Just 50 million. That's all. Whatever is here currently, I don't feel like I was paying a lot of attention to it up until recently. The Two of Wands in the history of the situation is kind of like, yeah, I knew it was there. I just didn't think a lot of it. I wasn't really worried about it. I was aware of it. I just didn't think about it too much. I thought I knew what it was. I thought I knew what it was. Like, how do I explain this? It's not like you over-defined it. It wasn't like that. But it's kind of like, if I was gonna, it's more than likely about a person. It could be a business thing, but like, it's almost like seeing like a hamburger spot. It's kind of like, oh, a hamburger place. All right, yeah, I'm not feeling like a hamburger. I'm not gonna worry about it. Could be other things there, but I'm not super motivated to go that direction. I'm seeing other things over here that are more enticing. And I feel like this is why it's kind of like this in the past. Like, yeah, it's a burger place. Okay, that's fine. But there's the taco place here, and there's an Asian seafood place over here, and that's more what I want. So I'm gonna go. I'd rather see what they have. I want to see what types of options they have. They were more enticing. I went towards what was more enticing. I knew that was there, but I'm like, I didn't want that. And I'm like, yeah, they could have other options, but I'm gonna focus my energy over this way. And this is the way you went. Doesn't seem like it's a big deal, at least not at the time. So it's probably about a person for most of you. It could be about like a business opportunity. Kind of like, yeah, I knew it was there. I just didn't think much of it. I thought I knew what it was, and I had bigger fish to fry. Bigger fish to fry. Something came in. So this, the analogy I'm getting. It kind of reminds me when people use one word and they actually mean something else. Like, this is not appealing to me, and it's not that bad, but it's just not appealing to me. There's a local place, or a fair. There was a fair, a state fair, and this one booth was selling roast beef sundaes, and I'm like, what? Basically, instead of ice cream, it was mashed potatoes. Instead of like caramel syrup, it was gravy, and then they put some cheese on it instead of sprinkles, and then they put it popped a cherry tomato on the top as the cherry. Basically, that's what it was. But I just remember thinking, to me, it was very unappetizing because it's kind of like roast beef sundae. I'm like, if I want a sundae, I want ice cream. That's like, it just didn't work for me. But the reason I'm giving that analogy is kind of like, it just seemed like it was something other than it actually is. At first glance, it's kind of like, oh, it's a burger place. All right. But then the more you look at it, it's like, you know, it's like, it's like, you know, it's like ice cream burgers or something, or it's something weird. It's kind of like, I saw the name of the place and I thought, oh, it says it's a burger place, but it's kind of like, for some reason they have that name, but that's not what's in there. It's ice creams and candies and cakes and cookies, and it's kind of like, that's not at all what I thought would be there. This is what this is turning out to be. Discovering the truth and then the Knight of Wands, it's kind of like, I just looked quick and I just didn't think much of it. And then it's kind of like, I'm finding out other information later and I'm like, wait, this is totally different from what I thought it was. Totally different. It's kind of like, and part of me is kind of like, well, that raises more questions. Like, why do they say it's, why do they put burger or something in the name of the business, and it's actually like sweets and candies and stuff? Like, why did they do that? Like, that's weird. Is that working for them? Like, that's interesting. It's just not what it seemed. It's completely like, that's not at all what I thought was going to be there. What is all this stuff? This does seem like it gets a little complicated for a minute. The truth comes forward. Yeah, we know that. And then I don't do anything with it. At first, I'm like, eh. I just feel like I'm a little annoyed with it. I'm just kind of like, that's ridiculous. Whatever. I don't know. I feel like my knee-jerk reaction isn't like, oh, I'm annoyed with that. So I just kind of walk away from it and I just go do something else. I'm like, eh. But as things happen with Gemini, you walk away with it, but then it kind of germinates in your brain, kind of like, that's a mystery. That's a mystery that I'm starting to formulate questions about. It's starting to become more aggravating because I'm getting a lot of questions in my brain about, well, what else do they have in there? And why did they do that? And how did this happen? And blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I kind of want to know the backstory now. At first, I'm annoyed and I walk away, but then it just kind of germinates. And I'm like, all right, now I want to know. Now I do want to know what's going on with this situation. What's happening here? Okay. The Star card. And then the Five of Pentacles, but it's not fully actual. It's kind of like, I'm just getting enough into it, but not really super. The information flows to you very easily. So the answers are coming, but I'm not getting like too deeply involved. Like, I'm asking questions or I'm finding out where to get my answers. You might be finding out where to get your answers. And something here isn't right. Something here isn't going right with this situation. It's kind of like, that business isn't doing that well. And you're like, well, people think it's a hamburger place. So, and I'm thinking when people show up hoping to get a hamburger and they're realizing you don't sell hamburgers, they weren't looking for candy and cookies and all that stuff. So you're probably not getting a lot of sales. And then the people who do want that stuff may not know that that's what you sell, so they're not even looking to see what you have. So it's kind of like, well, there's a lot of like misguided information. Like, the way they're doing things, it's kind of like, I feel like you're looking at it from the outside going, that's a real, I don't know, I don't know why you made that choice. Like, that's not, I don't see how that's going to work to your favor. And clearly it's not. I feel like you see it without a problem. Like, I don't know if that's I don't think that worked out in your favor. And you're really like, I don't know if I really want to get involved in this mess. And I feel like that's how you're looking at it. Like, this is a mess. And maybe I'll just stay on the outside. Maybe I'll just watch from the window. Because I don't know if I really want to step across that threshold and become a part of this situation. Okay, that's fine. This is fine. Like, somebody likes you, and I feel like I keep getting that. This is a place where you would be surprised how well you fit. The Lover's card is the Gemini card, just to be fair. It's also a very positive energy in this situation. This doesn't have to be a pass-fail situation. I don't know why you'd be looking at it like that, but for some reason, you might be looking at it like that. I mean, Gemini has a lot of different angles, but it's almost like, it feels like either I get involved with it or I don't. It doesn't have to be that way, but the thing is, I feel like there's a lot of variables here that I just feel like there's a lot of bad. It just looks bad. From the outside, it just looks bad. What I'm seeing, it's like, I see a lot of things I don't like. I just don't like it. It's kind of like if you were going to buy a house and you're like, this one is like, wow, the roof is screwed up, there's been water damage inside, the electrical has to be redone. It's kind of like, why would I go into that? Like, this is just way too much work. I don't know that I really want to do this. The energy fits here for you. Okay, how do you find out without getting overly committed? They're saying be careful. You don't have to step in and get right involved. It's kind of like you want to look at the house, maybe you want to find more information, but you don't have to put in an offer to buy it to be considered. But it's also like maybe looking at the house and saying, well, before I even considered buying such a house, that roof has to be fixed. And then the damage has to be assessed to see how much it would cost to fix it. So at the very least, that roof has to be fixed, at the very least. And even after that, there has to be some type of, I would have to have somebody come in and assess how much it would cost to fix the damage. I don't know why I had to say it twice, but for some reason I did. You don't have to get deeply involved, though. That seems to be like, this is almost like once I step in, I feel like it's like stepping on a slide, just like, whoo, I get sucked right into it. And I feel like I'm nervous, like if I start stepping in this situation, so maybe this is a person, for example, who is showing some romantic interest towards you, and you're like, oh, I don't know, if I show interest back, I just feel like I'm going to get sucked right into their life, and I don't want that to happen. I'm kind of nervous about that. It doesn't have to go that way. Gemini is a very interesting energy. I do think of it as a perk or as an asset. If you want to, I feel like y'all know this. If you choose to, one of the ways you can get out of situations is by confusing people. You know how to do that. I feel like Gemini, you're highly intellectual, and not everybody can follow what you're talking about. You have to have somebody else who's also intellectual and can follow what you're doing. If you want to confuse somebody, you've done it. I feel like y'all have done it throughout your life every now and then, and it's just like, I didn't mean to, it just kind of happened. I knew what I was talking about, but they were completely lost. So if you want to, if you choose to, you can confuse people to get out of a situation. I see it as an asset. I don't know how it sounds. I don't know how it sounds me saying it, but that I'm like, if you want out of this situation, you can get out of it. And they're like, don't be afraid to use the asset. If that's the asset you were born with, and that gets you out of a sticky situation, you got to do what you got to do. You can get involved in this situation, but you can make it really kind of like you got fogged in. You can make it very elusive. You can just kind of touch here, touch there. You can kind of like just talk about things without committing to things. You know how to do this if you need to. And it's kind of like, I don't know if I want to be a part of it, but you can show genuine interest without any genuine commitment. You know how to do this. I feel like they're saying you know how to do this. Go in, find out what's going on. Maybe let them think you're busier than you actually are. You know, sometimes, you know, it's almost like, you know, you don't want to go to something, so you schedule other things. Oh, I got this going on. You know, you can do what you got to do. You can do what you can get involved enough and keep yourself at a safe distance and keep things busy enough so that people don't know that you got other things, whether you do or don't have other things on the other burner. It's almost kind of like if you start dating somebody and you're like, well, I'm not really dating anybody else anyway, so I guess why not? They don't need to know that. You could be like, well, I got some things going this day and that day. Well, I don't want to talk about my plans, but, you know, I got a lot going on. They can think your dance card is full, even if they're the only person on the dance card. It doesn't have to be, you know what I mean? You can let them think that that dance card is almost full, even if they're the only one on it. I'm just saying. Let them be fogged in. Let them not know what you're actually doing. Just make sure they're in the dark about what you're really doing. I don't think it's a bad thing. especially if you haven't decided whether you really want to be a part of this situation or not. You just want more information to really understand. Maybe you're just curious. You're just like, at this point, maybe it's like it's eating at you. I just want to know more. I don't see that being a bad thing. I don't know how it sounds, but I don't see it being a bad thing. If you get deeper into it, you keep it a little bit elusive, the information, it's not hard for you to get what you're looking for. It's not hard for you to find the answers you want. And when I say the answers you want, they're the truthful answers. Like, I want to know what's in that chest. It's not hard for you to get over there and open it up and sift through it. Like, oh, this is in here. Oh, that's in here. Oh, that talks about this. Oh, this goes with that. You can get the answers you want. It's just getting a little bit closer, getting a little bit dirty, but not so dirty that you have to go home and take a total shower. You know what I'm saying? A little bit dirty to where I have to go over here and wash my hands and maybe brush some stuff off my shoes. But not so dirty, again, where I have to take a full-blown shower and change of clothes and all the other stuff. You may be surprised. You may actually find something where this is actually worth it for you. So it's kind of like, if we're going to use that house analogy, they're like, yeah, that makes sense. They fix the roof, and they're like, if you want to go in there with a couple different people and assess it, you know, we'll allow you access if you want to do that. So you can go through and find out. It's kind of like getting an electrician saying, well, these two rooms, they have those wires are done, but everything is not damaged. This other stuff is detached from this. This was completely shut off. I checked these wires, they're not damaged. So those wires over there, that part of the house, that has to be completely done. This doesn't. Then getting a contractor saying, well, it looks bad, but all it takes to fix this is redo this, redo that. Luckily, this is still good and that's still good. This house is actually still viable, especially now that the roof is up there. Everything with the roof looks secure. It wouldn't be as bad as it looks. It just looks nasty. It's not as nasty as it looks. You might decide you want to go forward with this. This situation does need some work, though. That for sure. This situation does need some work. There's going to be some things you just won't get around. You got the Justice and the Devil. These two cards working together is kind of like there's problems here that have to be addressed and have to be sorted out. Doesn't mean things are going to be super hard, but some things are not going to be very easy. So there's going to be kind of a mix. You can definitely make it happen, and with whatever you're working with, there's potential for this to be a beautiful thing. They are kind of giving a heads up with this situation. If you decide to get into it, like you see what's going on, and you're like, you know what, not as bad as I thought, not as bad as I originally looked at it, and I was like, oh, I don't know. If you do decide to get into it, it'll take right off, and it'll go very fast. You might be that leader energy, or you might get sucked into this leader energy. You know better than I will what type of energy usually happens in your life. That's the energy showing up. So if you're usually the leader, that's what'll happen. If you're usually the follower, that's what'll happen. I kind of get a hot cold here. Like, it's either lead or follow. It doesn't seem like there's a midway here. It doesn't seem like it really happens that way. I feel like this is very much an informative reading. They're just kind of giving you a heads up and just hopefully trying to give you some type of pattern or something to work with to decide whether you want to get a little deeper to find out more information, and then showing you can get that information without putting yourself at too much risk. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. The name's the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.